Okay, this video is to talk about the immune system study that's being done on the International Space Station. And I should warn you in advance, you don't need to be squeamish. We're not going to show any real blood drawing here. We're just going to show how they set up for it. So here's Dr. Barrett demonstrating all the proper techniques. He's got everything laid out in good order before he gets his subject over there. Then he's going to apply the tourniquet. And he's going to select the proper vein. Of course, we use safe practices in space with the sterile gloves. And he's going to get the butterfly configured and the tube, and then he would be ready to perform the stick. Of course, there's an old saying, you don't want the doctor to draw your blood. You always want to have the technician who knows what he or she is doing to perform the blood draw. Seems as though he might be having a little difficulty. Patient's nervous.
One of the pleasures of bringing Tim Cofer back from the space station is to have a couple, to have another Army buddy up there. And besides the PO events that we do live, sometimes we do some taping. Here we were taping just a small thing for the Army and another thing for upcoming Army-Navy games. So it was a lot of fun to be up there with another fellow service member.
Okay, here we're at the robotics workstation at the International Space Station using the big arm for unberthing the MPLM, and today it was our opportunity to unberth it and put it back into the payload bay door, into the payload bay, and we had great support from Pat, who provided us shuttle camera views, and also Kevin helped me provide the views. Halfway through, Kevin and I traded places, and he actually berthed it to the payload bay, and it was a great experience operating the International Space Station arm as opposed to the shuttle arm. So that was a pretty neat experience. So we came up with about 7.5 tons worth of supplies on the inside the MPLM, and we're leaving with about 1 ton of supplies back that the International Space Station no longer needs. Here you see the No. 2 hatch where the MPLM was connected, and as it's being removed and put into the payload bay of the shuttle. The big arm actually flies very nice, especially when it's unloaded. It moves pretty quickly. I was surprised at how quickly, when you do a joint OCAS from one location to another, how fast it actually moves. So it made our job a lot quicker and a lot easier as well. As you can see, once we're loaded, things move relatively slow, and for good reason, because there's a large mass at the end of the arm, and it would take quite a bit of effort to stop it if we needed to stop for some reason or another. And again, it was great support from Pat and from Kevin with respect to the camera views, and then Kevin and I traded places, and I gave him some camera views to berth the MPLM. As it gets in the bay, then on the International Space Station side, we start thinking about working and getting all our things together to get back into the shuttle, because shortly thereafter we're going to close the hatch to the shuttle. Here now you see Kevin flying the arm, and you can see he has his hand on the THC in good form, just like we were taught in Canada. We were trained very well to operate this arm, and it actually performed as expected, and we had no mouths or anything else to worry about, and it was actually quite a great task for us to be able to put the MPLM back in. Here there you see the American flag and in the payload bay, but it's soon to be covered by the MPLM. We had a centerline camera to help us with the alignment. We had 4 V guides and a host of cameras that helped us make sure that things were relatively well aligned. Kevin had to do a gallon and roll collection, and as I mentioned earlier, Pat working the cameras on the shuttle side to make sure appropriate views we needed to ensure clearance was available and we can go in for berthing it inside the payload bay. Okay, finally, as we approach the payload bay, you can see how we match it with the making sure that there's clearance with the V guides. There's 4 V guides that the trunnions go into, and Kevin again with his masterful skills of robotics puts it down and berths it beautifully. Well, this is flight day 11 for the STS-128 crew, and it spells the end of the mission docked to the International Space Station. This is kind of a bittersweet moment when we are at the hatches getting ready to say our goodbyes to our newfound friends in space. As tradition, there's some brief words that are said both by the commanders of the STS crew as well as the International Space Station crew, and followed by some ceremonial ringing of the ship's bell. 2 for the departing station shuttle ship, and then 4 for the departing flight engineer, which is Tim Copra. And again, this has been a wonderful mission. We appreciate all the support that we received on the ground, as well as the on-orbit team. Everybody really pulled together, overcame some things that came up. I mean, this is a big part of what spaceflight is being able to deal with things changing. And we think, in general, that this is a very, very successful mission. We're quite happy for the outcome, and are certainly appreciative of everyone's support at MCC Houston. Okay, and this is it. This is Nicole putting on the docking mechanism, alignment guides. This is what we use to berth and unberth from space station. It's a cruciform which has a standoff on it, and you see we align it to those wire guides there. And this is the final hatch closure for STS-128 with the International Space Station. On behalf of the STS-128 crew, we wish everybody good night.